Order the Ashland Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, March 9th, 2023. We'll start with an invocation, then Pledge of Allegiance.
Father God, we invite the Holy Spirit into our chamber today to preside over our meeting. Scripture says, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with one another and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. We come today, as always, thanking you for our city, Ashland, Kentucky. It is both an honor and a privilege to live here and to serve here. Today we come as a body of mayor and commissioners seeking your guidance and direction as we seek to make the right decisions in the best interests of our city and the citizens we serve. Bless our city manager, our staff and employees, and those in attendance today. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Let's stand and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Wirtz. We have a motion to receive and file the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion to receive and file the minutes for the regular meeting held on January 12th, 2023, and the called meeting held on January 19th, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, hearings and reports. Commissioners, if you all want to go first, I have a couple things at the end. We'll start with Commissioner Clark.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone, today. You all look nice out there. There's standing room only in the back. We appreciate you coming. Mayor, I don't really have a whole lot to report. Are you going to give a report, or do you want? Okay. Coffee Week is coming up. I was checking with Brandy to see if she was going to stand up there, and she says no. Coffee Week is coming up. I think there are 6 different coffee shops that are participating in Coffee Week, so check that out. You can see that on visitaky.com, and that's really all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Bland.
One thing for me, welcome everyone. Great to see everybody here today. We met this week with two professionals from Division of Protection and Permanency, and I learned a lot about children who are in foster care and in need of adoptive parents, and a topic that, just to be honest, I didn't know a lot about, and I was educated, and I really appreciate that experience, and it was very good information about the need for foster families in Boyd County, and a couple events that I told them I would mention for them. Wear Blue for Prevention is on March 31st in prevention of child abuse prevention. And also March 30th at the State Police Post in Summit, they're having a child abuse prevention pinwheel ceremony. My pin that I'm wearing today is for that recognizing that event. And so great education that I was able to receive about adoptive parents and things that you may not think of, like a lot of families may consider adoption, but child care for, they work and things like that. And as my family grows and I'm starting to live through, a lot of the issues that our citizens have lived through, and it's really good to be exposed to that and to try to work through any way we can work on solutions for our citizens. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Spriggs.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see all you here today. I wish the chambers were always this full for our commission meetings. I just have one. Okay. Is that in place of a drum roll, right? So, I just wanted to say this Saturday or this Sunday at 12:30, Pogue Chapter is honoring Vietnam veterans with a luncheon at the Transportation Center, and I want to thank the city for helping me with that. It's going to be a great thing as we honor these veterans who did so much. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
I just want to welcome everybody. I'm kind of wired for sound right now. I've been at Tim Hortons all morning. So, but I want to welcome everybody, and I had the honor and privilege of giving an invocation for Congressman Hal Rogers, who's opened a field office down here on 16th Street, and a lot of us were in attendance, and I think we're blessed to have a good addition to our city, a good representation. Ashland schools are out today. If you don't realize, there's kids running around, but a lot of them are in Lexington today. And so I want to give a shout out to congratulations to Coach Stacy France Davis of the Ashland Kittens. And right now they're beating Knott County Central like a drum. So I'm proud of her, and they'll play tomorrow at 6 o'clock if they prevail. And Coach Ryan Bonner of the Ashland Tomcats, this is Erica's brother, and both of those coaches are first-year coaches. First-year coaches who both were alumni. They both played for Ashland. They both came in as runner-ups. They were district runner-ups. Boyd County beat them like a drum, and both won big in the final at Moorhead. Saw Commissioner Blanton there, and they both won big in the final. I want to congratulate them. Sean Murray, I want to say your strategic plan is perfect. I liked it, and I'm thankful for it. The work in the parks is a visible positive to all our citizens. The redo of the waterworks, concession stand and bathrooms, much needed, is really good, really good. And the Little League tryouts are upon us. That's 300 kids involved right up here at Oliverio Park. Easter egg hunt will be upon us April the 8th and Saturday, and that's a big doing, 10,000 Easter eggs. And so I need your help, Eli, out there. I get the football players, and a lot of them help, and a lot of volunteers and city staff, so that's a big event coming up pretty soon. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Just want to mention that I was busy with a lot of different issues this week. I'm sure many of us are aware, and I was able to, on behalf of the commission, reach out to Mr. Wilkerson's mother to extend our sincerest condolences. But again, because of the independent investigation going on, we will not be making any further comment at this time. We have a couple proclamations that we would like to give today, and I would like to start with asking representatives of the Red Cross to stand up. And if you could come to the podium and just tell us who you are.
Good afternoon. My name is Erica Manny. I'm the Regional Chief Executive for the Red Cross in this region.
Hello, my name is Monet Shirley. I am a Regional Program Specialist with the Red Cross.
Hello, I'm Ed Helfenstein. I'm the Regional Program Officer for Service to the Armed Forces and International Services for the Central Appalachia region of the American Red Cross. I know that's a lot.
Hello, I'm Amber Whitley. I'm the Executive Director for the Tri-State Chapter with the Central Appalachia region of the American Red Cross. And today with us we have an amazing volunteer. So as Erica said, we save the best for last.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Paul Helo. I'm a volunteer. I'm the one that does all the work.
Paul, where are you from?
Originally,
Yeah.
I'm from Louisiana. I'm a Cajun. And I moved to Colorado with the prison system, came out here to prison, worked at the hospital, and then joined this great group. Such a good way to give back because we deal with people at the worst part of their lives. And we're trying to make a difference and offer them comfort and support.
Well, I appreciate your efforts as a volunteer. My grandmother was a volunteer for many years. She was a nurse at KD for a long time, and then provided some of her services to the Red Cross after she retired. I'd like to issue a proclamation today during American Red Cross Month that we celebrate the humanitarian spirit of Ashland, Kentucky, and reaffirm our commitment to help ensure no one faces a crisis alone. Caring for one another is at the heart of our community and exemplified by the people of Ashland, whose simple acts of kindness through the Red Cross provide help and hope in people's most difficult moments. Continuing the life-saving legacy of Clara Barton, who founded the organization more than 140 years ago to prevent and alleviate human suffering. Every day, these ordinary individuals lend a helping hand to make an extraordinary difference for neighbors in need. Whether it's providing emergency shelter, food, and comfort for families displaced by home fires and other disasters, donating life-saving blood for cancer patients, accident victims, and people with sickle cell disease and other life-threatening conditions, supporting military members and veterans along with their families and caregivers through the unique challenges of service, using vital skills like first aid and CPR to help others survive medical emergencies, or delivering international humanitarian aid and reconnecting loved ones separated by crisis around the world. Their support, volunteerism, and generous donations are critical to our community's resilience. So we hereby recognize this month of March in honor of all those who fulfill Clara Barton's noble words, "You must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it," and ask everyone to join in this commitment. And I'd like to present this to you all for this proclamation for Red Cross Month in Ashland. Absolutely. Well, we do have a little bit extra for you guys today. Paul, you're not here just because you're a volunteer. You've been Paul, you're an extraordinary gentleman, and you've made yourself indispensable to the local Red Cross mission. You're a certified social worker who retired from the National Prison System in 1997. Soon after retirement, you began working at KD, and then retired from there in 2021. Because of your commitment, I've got a proclamation for you. Paul and his wife Susan began volunteering with the Red Cross in 2016 after a family member was affected by a home fire. Paul's an active Red Cross volunteer in both Kentucky and Central Appalachia regions. He's a Red Cross disaster mental health volunteer, a disaster action team member, and a service to the Armed Forces Resiliency Facilitator. Fiscal year 2022, Paul provided 1,369.75 service hours to the Red Cross. He volunteered to virtually serve on 3 disaster relief operations for a total of 11 weeks in a disaster mental health role. Paul supports 2 Red Cross regions, providing disaster mental health counseling in the Central Appalachia region, 110 cases, while he continues to take on the majority of the disaster cases in Kentucky, 295 cases, providing mental health counseling to numerous families affected by disasters in both of those regions. Paul conducted 12 of Central Appalachia region's 21 resiliency workshops and was a keynote speaker representing the American Red Cross, the SAF Resiliency at a Military Learning Network seminar. Paul loves serving the military community because, as he says, "I was unable to serve, and I have a great deal of respect for those who have." Paul has an incredible gift of being able to connect with the group during his resiliency session. He truly gets the best out of whoever he is working with. Paul is a leader in the community and everything we should all aspire to be, a humanitarian in every sense of the word. So with that, therefore, I, Matthew Perkins, declare this day, March 9th, 2023, Paul Helo Day in the city of Ashland. Commissioners in the background. Got it.
Thank you.
There's more. So the Red Cross is organized into divisions around the nation. The Central Appalachia region is part of a division that includes 5 states and the District of Columbia. Paul knows this already, but he doesn't have the award yet. Last year, Paul was recognized as the Service to Armed Forces Division Volunteer of the Year.
Wow.
Awesome.
Pretty good day.
Tell you what, not bad.
We also have an exceptional volunteer award for you here, Paul. So thank you so much for all you do. Thank you, commissioners, and thank you, Mayor. We truly could not fulfill our mission without volunteers like Paul and leaders of our community. So again, thank you all.
We love the Red Cross.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Have a great day. And now, it's my great honor to present the official pinning ceremony of our new fire chief, Steve Alley. This is a momentous occasion, not just for Chief Alley, but for our entire fire department and the city as well. Chief Alley has served in various roles within the fire department for over 20 years, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to public safety and the betterment of our society. He was hired on in 2001, promoted to engineer 2004, promoted to captain 2007, promoted to battalion chief in 2013, promoted to deputy chief in 2018, and of course we know what's next. It's pretty special that his father, Albert Alley, served here as well from 1963 until he retired in 1989, serving 25 and a half years as captain. Steve, as we pin you today with this new badge, we acknowledge and appreciate your hard work and dedication to the fire department. Being fire chief is not an easy task. We are confident that under your guidance, though, you're going to achieve new heights of success and greatness. Together, we will overcome challenges, celebrate victories, and work towards making our community a safer place. So with that, can you come forward so we can do this? I think you're going to bring up 3 of your sons, okay, to do the pinning. Stephen Alley solemnly swear to continue to serve the citizens of the city of Ashland in your new capacity in a compassionate manner with courage and integrity, to put others before you, and to accept the sacrifices needed to serve our community? And do you swear to uphold the laws and Constitution of the United States, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the city of Ashland, so help you God? If you so would answer, I will.
I will.
All right. Looks like you're going to be fire chief.
So they get a turn.
Everybody gets a turn.
That's the only thing you gotta do is just clip it in.
Chief, we're honored to have you, and we appreciate your team being here today. We're proud of them too. You all do a great job, and we know that you continue to do great things. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Congratulations to you, son of chief.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now start with normal. I know, now it's normal. That'd be normal. That'd be normal before normal now.
All right. I know I went a little bit out of order, but I was on a roll.
Yeah, it's all good.
So we'll
I
start
want-
now.
I
We can
wanna
do the
say-
city manager's report.
I want to say one thing before you do that. Steve Alley is I can't say enough about him and his family here, being here. They're a family of faith. I've known them practically all my life. And his sons, what fitting way to put a pin on him. You got Luke here, who's a fireman. Jack, state football champion that I knew him, is a fireman. Eli is a soon-to-be up-and-coming senior, plays for the Tomcats now. I look maybe for him to be a fireman, I don't know. But they're a great family, and I just want to congratulate all of you. That's all I have.
Okay. City manager.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of quick things, just giving a report on, we are now at 23-plus quarters for excellent results on disinfectant byproducts, and if you put that into context, that's 5.5 years without violation. So just something, I know I said last time, I wouldn't say it again, but I can't help myself. The guys are performing at a great level. I also wanted to mention, talking about the fire department, we recently found out we were awarded 4 gas monitors on a grant that we filed a couple of months ago through the Kentucky Fire Commission. Basically, these monitors will check for carbon monoxide, oxygen, hydrogen sulfide, and explosive limits. Do you know what that grant was valued at approximately, Chief Alley?
It was about a $4,000 grant. They're providing the unit, not the proceeds.
So just a continued marching forward with grants that the fire department continues to do excellent with. I'd also like to publicly announce the opioid settlement fund. The request for proposals that we mentioned in a meeting a couple of weeks ago will be published in the Ashland Daily Independent on March 11th, 20th, and 25th. We've also got that posted on the city website, and those requests for proposals will be due on the 30th of March. So please, if anybody has interest in competing for those opioid funds, please submit your proposal. I want to thank the board for allowing me to go to the Kentucky County and City Managers Association annual conference. It was time well spent up there and was able to actually present to my peers on a topic. And I think, Mayor and Commissioners, last thing I did want to say, one of the commissioners had mentioned the event with Hal Rogers to Ashland, or visit AKY. Brandy, you all did a lot of work on that. A lot of times people don't appreciate what goes on behind the scenes, and you all did all the heavy lifting. So thank you publicly for everything you did to make that go off without a hitch. And
And a beautiful day for it.
Yes,
Really. It
yes.
was amazing.
Real windy,
Yeah.
but really good.
And all that food. Woo! Beautiful.
At this point, Mayor, I'd like to transition over to, if Mr. Murray would come up. A couple of months ago, you all gave us a task to work. We called it strategic plan at that time for the park system. And what this has evolved into is actually a supplemental plan to the strategic plan. Sean has done an amazing amount of work. The mayor and commissions got a bootleg copy of this last night. I would just like to say the criteria that Sean put together for their supplemental plan is in line with Malcolm Baldrig's criteria for excellence in government. And I'm not saying it's a final product, but it's the type of product that will get us to Malcolm Baldrig's recognition and performance. And Sean, I just publicly, I've said this to you privately, I've been more excited maybe about this than anything else in the time that I've been here, because you get it as part of this process. And I appreciate all the time and effort that you put into this. And I'm really looking forward to, as we develop the Raftelis provided strategic plan that the mayor and commissioners and staff worked on, I think this is a great first step for your peers, for the rest of the directors to look at. And this is going to be a multi-year process, but excellent work, and I wanted to say that to you publicly.
Thanks, City Manager. It's a tough act to follow what we just had already, so I do appreciate you giving me the opportunity. I'll try to be brief. And speaking with the City Manager during this process, we had a lot of help inside and out to make this come to fruition. And I found out a little bit earlier that I think a couple of the commissioners may or may not have received hard copies, so I want to make sure we get those to you immediately following the meeting, and give you more chance to review it. So what I wanted to do today is show you, because I believe the process is about 30 pages, or the actual supplement's about 30 pages. I wanted to show you one page of how it's actually going to work, or how we hope it works, before we get additional input, which we can always change. So what you're looking at is just one slide today, and I'm going to take an example here of when we get an idea, whether it be from the community, the citizens, city leadership, or the city departments. What are we going to do with those? Where do they go? Where do they come from? What's the next step? Because a lot of times we find in Parks and Recreation especially, there's a lot of quality of life issues that we can address or that are brought to our attention that sometimes seems that they don't always make the front page or decision-making process public. I want to make sure that there's a process in place so everybody can see, or I was given that opportunity to help us, help you, and help the citizens make those decisions as well, or at least look at those opportunities. As you look at the next slide there, this is a big puzzle. When we get these ideas, this strategic plan is going to help Parks and Recreation immediately figure out where those pieces fit. So if we get an idea, if we get a strategy that we can use, can we identify which goal in our supplemental plan? And we've got 4 goals that I've listed there in our supplemental plan. The first of which is creating diverse, high quality, safe, and accessible recreation opportunities. The second is maintaining parks and facilities to the highest standards. The third is provide effective planning and facility development, addressing community recreational needs. And the fourth is enhancing organizational capacity with assertive communication. You're probably going, okay, it's a lot of words, how does it work? So what I would like to say is for like capital development projects, like how does this actually work? So if we're approached, or the commission's approached, or leadership's approached, or we have these ideas, it can start there and we can say, okay, does this fit into our strategic plan? And we start with, can we identify which one of the strategic goals that it would fall under? So as you're looking at this, you can go, okay, so number 3, provide effective planning, facility development, addressing community recreational needs. So a lot of times when you have a capital project, a playground, for example, that we've had in the past, an inclusive playground or a century garden, and these start out from infancy as ideas, we can find which piece of the puzzle, and in this case, which goal, strategic goal, it fits in the supplemental plan. The third part of this that I want to skip down to, and this is kind of the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, is how is it analyzed at that point? Well, each one of those strategic goals has objectives. Those objectives, between 2 and 8 per objective, they're identified on what's needed, what we're hoping to accomplish with that process. So if we're looking at an inclusive playground for Central Park, then you can go down on what's our objective, what are we trying to accomplish at that point. Each one of those strategic goals is also going to have department initiatives. We'll have to identify the resources that we need to accomplish those. And we're going to have performance measurements. So once that is accomplished, we can come back and we can, whether it be through citizen surveys or surveys that meetings that we hold with citizens, find a way to determine if the project is meeting what the original supplemental plan or strategic plan meant to do. Last but not least is obviously with budgeting. I'm using the inverted triangle there, and you can look at it as a filter. We're taking all that information at that point, and as we keep squeezing it out to the bottom, the last being the budget, we're going to have a pretty good idea of where, how, when, and what it's going to take to accomplish that strategic goal. Once we have all that information, we'll be able to as a department, make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners or leadership, depending who, when, and why that needs to happen. Some decisions obviously may not need to even go that far. So what I do want to mention is we can use this as a tool in Parks and Recreation immediately. Some things I think the city's already doing or had in place. The city manager and I had a conversation about some of this. He goes, well, how did you come up with this aspect of it? Well, we were doing some of it, and I think the city is doing some of these things already, but I never put it on paper. And I think that was the key to see. It's real hard for me. I'm terrible at explaining when somebody goes, well, why'd you make this decision? And I go, I don't know, it sounded right. You know, that type of thing. That doesn't really fly when I've got, you know, leadership coming back. Well, that's not going to cut it too when you need money for it. But putting pen to paper on it really made a big difference for me to see how it can positively affect the Parks and Rec staff, the departments, or any of the other departments in the city. I can tell you that document is going to help us slot pretty much any of these questions or concerns that may come up, or projects or budgeting or whatever it is with Ashland. We're going to be able to take it and put it into this matrix and come up with a recommendation either for the city manager, or we'll have a recommendation for you at that point. So it looks simple on one page to say, hey, you know, these are the steps that are going to go into it. There's a lot of data. There's a lot of analysis that goes on before it would ever come back to you. And you'll be obviously be aware of what all that data was that went into that decision. But it can be done each and every time for, again, in this situation, I was just taking a playground, an inclusive playground, but I can do it for a lot of different aspects with the city.
If I may, Mayor and Commissioners, also, and to the community, this dovetails, again, it's a supplemental plan to the city's strategic plan. The city's strategic outcome areas that we identified in the workshop after defining the mission, the vision, and organizational values was thriving community, engaged residents, creative growth, and organizational excellence. And then those broke down, as you all remember, to the KPIs, the key performance indicators. And so what Sean's put together on top of everything that he's briefed, he's also, and I didn't bring my copy or the back part of that copy, he's also got separate spreadsheets at the lowest level that has those measurables, and this is also on the performance. So whether we do this through survey or other feedback, how are we doing? We may think we're doing great, but we really need to hear from our residents on a regular basis, staff on a regular basis, obviously elected officials on a regular basis. And it formalizes that, so you're not just swagging things and say, yeah, we think this is a good idea before we expend funds. And it will allow us to do much more efficient planning long-term on, okay, these are the things that you all want to accomplish representing the community. And I'm just, like I said, I'm unbelievably excited about it, because I think it will get us moving towards Malcolm Baldridge's level of performance, which really should be a goal of any municipality.
And the city manager's mentioned about his excitement on it, and I temper it, just having looked at it for a couple months and going, okay, I'm always trying to adjust and see where it needs to be updated, and I think definitely any input that I can receive, because again, this is a draft for you to consider. I'm looking for that assistance. So if there's something you think I've missed, for sure, please let me know, and we'll be happy to make any adjustments we need to make.
Sean, thanks for your work on this. I know Commission put this to you as a challenge, and we knew you could meet that challenge. I think you went above and beyond. And so I would also say, to the city manager's point, that we would highly encourage all department heads to consider evaluating strategically the policies and procedures to see how best we can get things to budget time planned and prepared. Thank you.
Great job, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Great job.
Thank you, Sean.
Mayor, I had one last public announcement, and that is that the Kiowa equivalent of executive committee, they call them something else, met last Friday and have moved forward with the grant for the city to move forward with the downtown Winchester development. So we'll be in final engineering in the next couple of weeks. We expect to get the bids out in the next month or so, and hopefully construction starting in the May timeframe.
May.
Completion in November. That's all
Good
I have,
news.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to move on to public participation. Anyone with a comment or request may come to the podium and address the commission concerning matters related to city business, services, or personnel. Comments related to election issues or concerning personal disputes will not be allowed. Personal attacks, threatening language will not be tolerated. Presentations are limited to 5 minutes. Only one speaker is permitted per subject. No action will be taken at this meeting. Those with comments are asked to fill out an inquiry complaint form and leave it with the city clerk for distribution to the proper city department. Would anybody like to come forward at this time? Hearing none, old business.
Old business, item A, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a conditional commitment letter and subsequent grant assistance agreement between the City of Ashland and the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority for a grant in the amount of $719,000 for the US 23 Winchester Avenue Water Main Replacement Project, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute on behalf of the City of Ashland any and all documents associated with this grant.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an engagement letter with Frost Brown Todd attorneys to provide legal services in connection with developing a conference center at 1401 Winchester Avenue as a public-private partnership in the approximate amount of $15,000 for the Department of Engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending Part 2 Employment Process A, procedure for filing vacancies, notice of vacant positions of the Policies and Procedures Compensation Plan and Classification Plan as adopted by ordinance number 51, series of 2017, as previously amended.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item D, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract with Bobby's Mulch for the purchase of all labor, materials, equipment, services for the demolition and removal of all debris of 2724 Montgomery Avenue in the amount of $2,845 for the Department of Community and Economic
So
Development.
moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item E, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky designating 2 parking spaces in the 300 block of 16th Street as congressional visiting parking only to be used by Congressman Rogers' office, providing a penalty for the violation of this ordinance and repealing ordinance number 90, series of 2007.
So moved.
Se-
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item F, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending ordinance number 38, series of 2021, commonly known and referred to as the 15-minute parking space ordinance, designating a 15-minute parking space in the 300 block of 15th Street.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item G, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending ordinance number 38, series of 2021, commonly known and referred to as the 15-minute parking space ordinance, designating a 15-minute parking space in the 300 block of 15th Street.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
One question. When we go to the parking plan later, will these 15-minute spots still, will we still handle those the same?
Good question.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item H, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a grant application for funding for the hiring of 3 additional firefighters through the Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response Grant Program for the Ashland Fire Department, and if awarded, authorizing acceptance of the grant and further authorizing and directing the mayor to execute any and all other documents regarding the grant.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda, a resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of March 9th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
New business, item A.
Yes.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Bluegrass Recreation Sales and Installation LLC for the purchase, preparation, and installation of playground equipment and surface at East Central Park in the amount of $172,742.14 for the Department of Community and Economic Development.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Sean, oh, go ahead. All of, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Marty.
Sorry. Sean, when's this gonna be, completed, you think? Just ballpark. Next 6 months? Okay.
All right, item B, reading and adoption of a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky Adopting the 5 Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan Update and FEMA-Approved Plan Update."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky Authorizing and Directing the Mayor to Execute a Contract between the City of Ashland and Rumpke of Kentucky, Inc. for the removal and disposition of sludge from the City of Ashland wastewater treatment plant and water treatment plant for a period of 1 year in the amount of $330,000, $355.20 for the Department of Utilities."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And next is entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing threatened or potential litigation.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're going to go into executive session. Only this item will be discussed. No further action will be taken. We returned at 1:26, and no action will be taken. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.